Hello loves, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be breaking down the full moon in Cancer that's happening on January 6th, and we're going to be looking at the collective messages and all of the things. Okay, before I get started, do not forget to take the survey for the spiritual retreats, which will be, the link will be down below. I need you guys to tell me where you want to go for me to host some spiritual retreats. Right now, Egypt is the #1 location that everybody's picking, which I would love to do a spiritual retreat in Egypt. There's a couple of different places that have also high votes, but I want to have enough so that way I can plan out the spiritual retreats for the next like 5 or so years. So that way you guys know like where we're going, what we're doing and stuff like that. So definitely make sure you click the link down below and let me know where you would want to go, so that I can start making the plans for that as well. So definitely make sure that you click the link down below and vote on where you want to go. With that being said, we're going to jump in and get started. As you guys know, it is my birthday month. So tomorrow we're going to be having a live. This weekend I will be basically in birthday mode up until next week, but we will be doing the weekly healing circle as well, so stay tuned for all of that jazz. But yeah, it should be like a fun birthday situation thingamabob. If you want to like buy me a coffee or something, feel free to use the link down below, any of my Cash App or Venmo or whatnot. And you know, send me some money for some coffee or something. If you want to send me some love or like a love donation, the link to all of my stuff will be down below. It's basically the same thing as my name is OkaniLuna. All of it is just OkaniLuna. With that being said, we're going to jump in and get started. We have like a really very amazing year ahead. Very grounding year is what I'm going to call it. But we're starting off with the full moon in Cancer. So the full moon in Cancer is definitely it's highlighting quite a bit of things, especially for those who are still, you know, we're still in the process of, you know, feeling a little bit discontent or frustrated about, you know, their journey so far with some of their larger goals that they've been trying to accomplish. But we're going to dive into all of that. First, we're going to break down, we're going to just start with the planetary position so you know where the planets are. The sun is in Capricorn, moon will be in Cancer, Mercury will be in Capricorn in retrograde, Venus will be in Aquarius, Mars will be in Gemini in retrograde, Jupiter will be in Aries, Saturn will be in Aquarius, Uranus will be in Taurus in retrograde, Neptune will be in Pisces, and Pluto will be in Capricorn. So both Mercury, Mars, and Uranus retrogrades will end this month, which is awesome sauce. So by the time like January ends, you'll have, and we move into February, the planets won't be in retrograde, so you'll, you know, not feel, you know, the tug and pull in those areas as well. But we do have that Capricorn stellium right now because the sun and Mercury and Pluto are all in Capricorn. So there is like that focus on that groundedness and restructuring and like still working it out, figuring out, you know, what we want to do, figuring out how we're going to move forward. So there's still that energy very much present. So the sun will be in an opposition to the moon. This is definitely an important time to pay attention to how you want to navigate the messages that you're getting from you're like spiritually, the messages, and also intuitively where you are feeling like you need to be taking the next steps. In order for you to nurture your path right now, you need to make sure that you're allowing yourself to be very much guided by your own like willpower. So it's important to listen to yourself during this time, and you might see some conflicting kind of conclusions from your reflections, because your ego might want something that your intuition is telling you, like, hey, you know, I think it's this way, but your ego might be like, yeah, but I really feel like I just want to do it this way. So if you need to shift the way that you've been doing something in order to, you know, get to the destination. Don't block yourself from, you know, those opportunities. Don't block yourself from getting to the destination, even if it requires you to maybe shift something or to, you know, have to take a different course for a while. Sometimes there are, you know, certain turns that we make in our journey that still get us to the destination, but it was a needed turn to make. So sit with that and ask yourself why your intuition is navigating you in this way as well. And, you know, accept those things to be your truth as well. Don't fight yourself too much, because then it's just gonna be like your ego trying to win over all of the things. The sun will also be in conjunction with Mercury. And this is because of the Capricorn energy, because they're both in Capricorn. Now with the sun in conjunction with Mercury is in retrograde right now. So with this conjunction, be very mindful of I told you so moments or feelings, because this tends to happen during this time with Mercury being in retrograde, especially with Capricorn energy. If you felt like you should have went a different route ahead of time, or like your intuition told you to do that and then you went against it and you followed your ego beforehand, now it's kind of like, damn, I should have done that. I should have just stayed on, like, did what I felt like I should have done in that moment. So try not to be too harsh on yourself, but again, pivot if you need to pivot. It's totally fine to adjust your course. But you might be getting some very specific downloads, and it might feel like a very, like, I told you so kind of moment. If it's not you doing it, it's somebody else doing it, or you doing it to someone else, where it's something that's like, well, I did tell you. That's the energy of that. The sun is also going to be in a trine with Uranus, so there is, you know, a little bit of chaos. It's a full moon. You cannot expect not a little bit of chaos. There is this energy of a little bit of chaos, a little bit of some moments, some challenge. It's like a moment of challenge in order to trigger that change, to trigger that kind of conversation where you're like, oh man, I should have done it differently. Okay, maybe I should just take that move now. Like, this is like one of those crossroads moments where you either continued on that same road, or, you know, you're like, you know what, I should turn left. I should just turn left, and we're still gonna get there, but I have a feeling I should just turn left. Let me just follow that feeling. So if you're feeling like, you know, there are things that are triggering that shift now in order to kind of you know, just push the energy into a whole different direction in order for that change to happen, that shift to happen, that's really important as well. So just allow yourself to be guided by your needs and also by your intuition. Allow those moments of, hey, I told you so, and, you know, I should have listened, but I didn't. It's okay. It already happened. So beating yourself up about it is not gonna, you know, like, just, it's okay. It's okay. What we can do now is move forward and see what we should be doing now. Okay. Now the moon will also be in an opposition to Mercury, and Mercury is also going to be in a trine with Neptune and Uranus. Very, 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 very intuitively focused energy. Due to this opposition, there is definitely that energy of mentally, like, being in a certain mindset again, and this really goes into highlighting the ego because of that conjunction with the sun and Mercury. There's a part of the ego where it's just like, but I want to keep doing it the same way that I've been doing it. But then it's like the I told you so moment of, okay, but you realize that you could also head in this other direction, which, you know, is like where you're supposed to be shifting in order to get to the destination. Don't do things like this. Is not a really good time for you to, like, do things out of like your ego and wanting to just see something through out of like ego. If you need to change course, like one of the things that, definitely go watch the weekly healing circle, but one of the things that we talked about was getting up to the mountain, that journey of getting up to the mountain. Sometimes it's not a straight line. Sometimes you have to turn. Sometimes you have to like, you know, go around. Sometimes you have to replan how you're going to get up there, but the goal is to still get up there. And that's really the key right now. It's about like, if you need to shift it, don't be stubborn and try to go and force your way up a path that is more dangerous and that it makes no sense to force yourself to go to, when you can clearly see that, you know, there's a better path that could still, you know, get you into that same direction. Don't fall into the stubbornness, because then that's when you're going to be blocking yourself. Okay. The moon will be in a trine with Neptune. So spiritually, this is a great time for spiritual manifestation, especially working with the element of water, to nurture those intentions and to also keep us on track. That includes your intuition and what your intuition is telling you about what you need to do. So if you're doing divination, if you're pulling cards, if you're using a pendulum and you're like asking like, hey, should I go in this way instead of staying in this course? And, you know, you're getting the answer that you don't want to see, because the one that you don't want to see is the one that's like challenging your ego to, you know, make the left turn. You're going to have to come to terms with that, because you're going to definitely be getting the downloads, the messages that are coming through are very, you know, straightforward. Not surprising, because, well, one, it's the full moon is in Cancer. So Cancer energy, when it comes to intuition, is very like, this is what it is. This is the truth. This is what's happening. So it's definitely like in your face. Well, this is what it is. So it's up to you with, you know, accepting the truth of that, and then, you know, game planning after that. And Mercury will be in a trine with Uranus. Venus will also be in a trine with Mars, which is great for love and relationships. It's great for sensual magic, is great for some sacral things. It's also great for sacral manifestations when it comes to working with your womb. Okay, it's great for fertility, like, you know, workings and magic and stuff. That Venus and trine Mars is really, really amazing for balancing relationships, setting intention for marriage, setting intention for, you know, family, kids, like things that you want in that sense, because the full moon is in Cancer, and Cancer rules that as well. So keep that in mind. But with the Mercury trine Uranus, you might have some very clear breakthroughs that are going to be able to help you like feel a little bit more comfortable with, you know, accepting some of the changes that you're going to need to accept, because that's the key there. Okay. Now, when it comes to the cards, because the cards, oh my God, the first two cards that came out together, okay, together. I cannot stress that enough. This is 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Swords together. Okay, I'm not making this up. Together. Okay, they came out together. So with the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Swords, then the 3 of Swords. Okay, then we have the Queen of Swords, the Hierophant, which is a card of Taurus, and then we have the Ace of Swords. Do not underestimate how, you know, Uranus and Taurus is impacting, because it really, 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 it really is. Uranus and Taurus, especially when it comes to being in an Earth season, it really helps to connect with the other Earth placements that are there, the other Earth transits that are there. So there's a lot of grounding. There's a lot of, you know, restructuring there. There's some breakthroughs that are happening, but that air energy, that's that Uranus energy. Okay. So when it comes to this reading, it's very, very straightforward. It's like, okay, obviously where you want to be is the 10 of Pentacles, but where you're feeling like you've been, or where you feel like you're headed, is like that 10 of Swords energy. And it's almost like, it feels like you're almost giving up if you have to kind of change course a little bit. But the thing is that you're not. Be very mindful of checking your ego and having to, again, turn left. It's totally fine if you need to turn left. That's fine. Turn left. It's okay if you are still in that space where you're making peace with the fact that you didn't listen to yourself before, and now you're having to make that shift, and it feels, you know, like, damn. Okay, but It's okay. It's about, okay, now you have it in your awareness. Now it's like you're making a choice, like it's an active choice. And you already know like what staying on that path without making this left turn is going to continue to look like. Okay. So it's all about your mind. It's all about you being decisive, and it's all about you actively, being very clear on how you want to progress moving forward. Let's not forget that Venus is in Aquarius, okay? So the energy is very much about that, your own identity, your own evolution, your own revolution inside of you, making and causing you to do the changes that you need to make so you can get on track with yourself. Do not forget that Aquarius is also a fixed sign. So it really works with that Taurus fixed energy, where it's like, okay, I understand that you want to stay on course in this way because that's what you said you were going to do, but you might just need to switch again, turn left, but you're still on the right track. You're still on, you're still on the journey. You're not off the journey. You're still on the journey. You just need to look at it differently. The perception needs to be a little bit different. And you need to be a little bit more clear with yourself. You need to stop seeing this left turn as like, oh, you're giving up, or no. It's just that you knew that you needed to shift this way, and now you're actively like making that choice in order to help you stay on track in the proper way. It really comes down to that. Okay. Now, when it comes to the oracle cards, the first one that we're getting is look at the bigger picture. The full moon in Sagittarius. Look at the bigger picture is the key here. Like this turn left situation, it's like, look at the bigger picture. You're still going to get to the destination. Like nobody's saying you're going to get to the destination. It's just that you're making a left turn because it is needed to make a left turn. It's not like, think of it like if you're driving somewhere and there's traffic in the way that you like to get there to wherever it is that you're going. There's traffic on the way there. There's a whole like, it's just like the wait time is like a cute hour and a half, and you're just like, oh my god, if I keep staying here, I've been sitting in here, but if I keep staying here, I'm just gonna be here for hours at this point. Are you going to take your preferred road, or are you gonna be like, you know what, I could just turn, I could get out of here and like maybe go local for a bit and then see if I can catch it in the other thing. Like take a little bit of a shortcut, take a little bit of a different turn in order to alleviate and not waste time where you don't need to waste time, right? Then we have believe in the impossible, because it feels like especially with the beginning energy, it feels like with this energy, some of you are getting a little bit like, am I really gonna get this? Like you're really questioning it in like a very, like it almost seems like impossible type of thing, but you have to believe in yourself. You really do. It's really important right now to believe in yourself. It's really important right now to make sure that you are, being yourself, feeling grounded and really, trusting where you're going, trusting your intuition, trusting your own knowledge, your own wisdom. Okay. Because that's going to help you keep you on track. Okay, at the end of the day. Then we have acceptance, communication, and love. Okay, because there's definitely a focus on love energy, but this part of you needing to, believe in yourself, you needing to take this left turn, it really comes down to that acceptance. It really comes down to you like mentally getting clear on it, mentally saying, you know what, I think I might try this a different way, instead of like just fueling your ego and being like, no, but I said I was going to do it this way, so it has to be this way. No, it doesn't. It doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. You're the one who gets to say, okay, I'm going to continue on this path or not. You get to do that. So just make sure that you are staying on task with that. When it comes to love and relationships, try to have open communication. Be very honest when it comes to love and relationships during this time. Because it's definitely something that during Capricorn season, if you're internalizing a lot of things, you might end up emotionally needing like an outburst. And because the moon is already in Cancer, it's gonna, like, if somebody needs to talk or like have an emotional breakdown, or just like be open, allow that to happen. If you need to have that moment, reach out. Like don't put yourself in a box. Reach out, express yourself, and, you know, say what you need to say. Say what you need to say. Say what's in your heart. Say how you've been feeling. Let it out. Cry it out if you need to. Like, listen, do what you need to do to get, you know, balanced in. But there is definitely, when it comes to love and relationships, the energy is very much like having a lot clearer communications and also being on the same page. Some people might be making or thinking about making a commitment or proposing during this time. Some people might feel like that's where they're headed relationship wise. So also stay, you know, keep an eye out for that. And then we also have the Ocean. And it says, the beautiful, mysterious, wild, be beautiful, mysterious, wild, and free. Okay. Literally allow yourself, especially with the way that the moon is connecting to Neptune, allow yourself to, especially within your practice, whatever spell or whatever spell work you're going to do, allow yourself to really romanticize it. Allow yourself to really also incorporate your self-care. Make sure you're loving yourself during this time, because we can be a little bit harsh on ourselves during Capricorn season. So, you know, allow yourself to also have time with yourself, especially if you want to do some sensual magic by yourself or with a partner. But, you know, do what you need to do. Spend time with yourself. Work with the water element. Definitely take a spiritual bath. Highly recommended, especially for water moons. Just take a spiritual bath. Great time to do grounding work, working with plants. And also a great time to cleanse your space. Definitely cleanse your space before you do any type of spell work. Working with the air element right now is something that is very important. And then we have opportunity. You will prove yourself and discover if you brave the rough seas, because it's not always easy. The path is not always like from point A to point B. Sometimes you have to take a detour, and that's really what this is. You're turning left, but so you don't stay on traffic, okay? Like, understand that. Like, your intuition's like, you should have turned like half a mile ago, but you didn't, and you're still here. And it's just, you need to start exiting. Okay. So just listen to yourself. It's really, really, really important to put in the work and really dive into, you know, using your energy correctly, and getting back on track with yourself, because that's how we're starting off the year. Okay, so that was the reading, my loves. I hope that you guys got all of the messages that you needed. I love you guys so much. Thank you for all of the love and support, and I'm really excited for this year. It's gonna be awesome. Stay tuned for all of the things, because I have a lot of things planned, and I will see you in the next video.